what's your thoughts on this? Because I've got friends. I'm calling you out, Daniel. Daniel Birnbaum. You know who you are. Frank Lampard isn't a real manager. He's a Spurs fan. Let me just add that first. So there's a bit of context there. But he said Frank Lampard isn't a real manager. And he was comparing him to the likes of Jose Mourinho. So that makes sense. But you still have to get experience. There was a time when Jose Mourinho was an inexperienced manager. So I think that's a bit harsh because Lampard's doing a good job.
Totally different type of manager. Guaranteed. Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. But he's so young in his managerial career. You can't compare the two. I just think it's unfair. Look like Jose was there when Lampard was like in his prime, even a bit before his prime. Like the experience.
His prime. Yeah. I mean, it's different. Like you look at those kind of managers that are obviously really young and coming in that obviously got through. Like look at Lampard. Goes right in, finishes badges probably. Goes right in and manages Derby, right? So right there, and he did a good job though. Guys like Frank Lampard, a great work ethic as a player, comes in, increases the level of Derby, and has them a game away or a few games away from promotion. Increases the level, the work rate of the team.
That's such an important point because people too easily say like, Frank Lampard, got the managerial job at Chelsea purely because he's a Chelsea legend. But you look at Derby now, to whereas, yes, they had a few other good loan players when Frank Lampard was there, like Tomori, players like that. But he still did a great job with Derby. He still got them to the playoff, one game away from the Premier League. So, and that was taking on the Marcelo Bielsa lead side and beating them in 2 legs. Let's not talk too much about that night.
He's a legend at Chelsea. He knows the club. I think that's so important. Someone that knows the club, has had success with the club, and is obviously a great leader.
Share those values. Clubs have values. It's a true thing.
It's true.
And I'm sure there's staff there who was, staff behind the scenes who were there when he was a player that will still be there. So he's got a certain level of respect, and he will already walk in with a certain. He doesn't have to earn a lot of respect because obviously as a manager he does, but as a person he's known to the club. But I think it's an important point to say that if he didn't have that sort of success with Derby, there's no guarantee that Chelsea would have then just brought him in. If you have a season with Derby where you finish in the bottom half of the Championship, I don't think Chelsea are then going to go, we'll give him a chance anyway. He proved himself as a potential, great manager for Derby. I think his success at Derby gave him that opportunity, opened that window.
And also the experience, I think,
vacancy.
Right? Like that's it may get him in, but he also I think it's important to have like a year at the Championship with a team like that is obviously not a team that was destined for the Premiership. He had a great season with him. It reminds me, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but Steven Gerrard, what he did. The fact that he, obviously a legend, Liverpool legend, whatever, England legend, he comes into a club like Rangers, that's a massive football club.
Yep.
And throughout, he's been given time, which is amazing. You need time. And that's what Chelsea will need as well. Then you're going to need time to create a really strong club. And he's taken a Rangers club and made it a top. Like they're 4 points, I think, ahead of Celtic right now. And he's just increased.
Big win last weekend.
Massive win. And they made it look easy, honestly. It was a shock performance from Celtic, and Rangers played really well. So, but he's increased the standard. I know, we're kind of going off topic here, but, those managers, you have to give them credit.